There were people, the people, Danny Kaye, Christopher Plummer, Josephine Premise, the people who Elaine Stritch, I mean, the people who worked with us, the guest artists, it was amazing. It was amazing.
And you also got to work with, you had mentioned Clarice Taylor earlier, an idol of yours who ended up playing your mother-in-law, correct?
That's right. She was one of those actresses that I watched so intently in my summer in New York after my sophomore year, and I actually had the opportunity to work with her at Lincoln Center in an Ed Bullen's play some years before, and then we came together again in this, yes.
So it just goes to show you see someone, you never know if you're going to work with them. In terms of what you remember audience reaction, then that night, do you ever, I mean, did the audience energize you in general, but do you also remember audiences going crazy over a particular moment that Claire had, or people coming up to you later and saying, I love this episode? Are there favorites that you've heard?
People loved us honoring the grandparents. They loved that. They loved that episode in which we sang "Nighttime is the Right Time," and little Rudy came down there screaming, "Baby!" Yeah. They loved that.
Ended up in one of the opening credits, correct? It was all of you kind of singing into hairbrushes on the stairs.
Yep.
All up and down the stairs.
Yep.
Famous
and Jay had
image.
me choreograph that. He said, "Phylicia, can you help us out? Can you choreograph this?" I mean, we really worked well together. We worked so well together. People loved that. I think people got a big kick out of Cliff and Claire turning that couch around to face the front door to lay in wait for Vanessa on her return from Baltimore with the wretched. People liked that a lot.
What kind of fan mail did you get about the show?
I would receive letters from young girls who were saying that they were going to be lawyers because of what they had seen. And I received a lot of mail like that. And I would encounter people in airports who would express, it was amazing. They had the most sincere expressions of gratitude for helping save a marriage, or helping them understand how to work with their children. But most recently, within the past month, I met an Asian American on the street, a young man, who said, we came to this country, he said, I was young, he said, and we didn't fit in, and we didn't have anything but we could watch this show and we felt a part of it. And then I met a young man from Germany, a young black man who grew up in Germany. He said we were not welcomed into the society there. He had followed me down a corridor to tell me this, and he said, I have to tell you this. We were not welcomed into the society there. We were not treated very nice. He said, but then your show came, and he said, and it gave us such a sense of who we are as people, and it made us feel so great and good about ourselves. And I think one of the high points was meeting Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela said to me, thank you. Thank you. He said, we watched your show on Robben's Island. He said, I watched it with my guard, and it softened him.
Wow. Most sitcoms don't get that kind of feedback.
Well, see, this was the importance of this show. What Bill did in being authentic was show that people are much more alike than we could ever be different. This is what he really did.
Do you think that's why it was such a fan favorite, why it caught on so much of that message?
Absolutely. Being authentic and being true. People, you don't have to pretend to be other than you are. Be authentically human. People respond to that. People respond to authenticity. People all over the world have children. People all over the world are having to rear these children in this age of technology. People all over the world want to support their children in growth and development. People all over the world are falling in love every day and coming together in marital unions, hopefully that will last and sustain them in some meaningful way through life.
So it's a universal message, is what you're saying.
It's universal.
It's ironic, though, that a show that has made its mark as being so historic for having African American characters is in a way so colorblind because it's universal.
But that's the point. That's
Right.
the whole point. People all over the world really care about the same thing. All over the world. I don't care where it is. What are people really trying to do but live? It's so simple. Love is easy.